We visit with two teachers who won the coveted Aware Award. Next on Conversations. Welcome to Conversations. I'm your host, Jeannie Curtis. At the 23rd Annual Aware Foundation Awards Dinner, 5 teachers were added to the prestigious group of education professionals, making the total number of Aware winners 105. The foundation was founded in 1989 as a way to encourage innovation and excellence among Arlington ISD teachers. The name, Aware, stands for Arlington Will Award and Recognize Educational Excellence. On today's show, we feature 2 of these teachers. Junior high school winner Chris Wagner from Owsley Junior High, and the 5th through 6th grade Aware winner, 5th grade science teacher Jeannie Loyd from Corey Elementary.
I was born in Texarkana, Arkansas, and then my parents and I moved to Paris, Texas, which I went to elementary school, high school, Paris Junior College, but it was during the time that I was in elementary school that in 3rd grade I had a teacher, her name was Mrs. Adrian Casey, and she played such a vital role in my life at the time. I guess I was so easily influenced by her teaching. She had the most beautiful handwriting I had ever seen, and I wanted to write just like Mrs. Casey. She also was my 6th grade teacher, and after that I just knew I wanted to teach school. That was just my dream. And so I went to University of North Texas in Denton and graduated with an elementary education degree, a minor in math in 1978. 1978. And Mr. Woodrow Counts was the superintendent at the time, and I'll never forget that man. He was just so wonderful. He was like a grandfather. And he came to University of North Texas and interviewed me there. I got the job like immediately and moved to Arlington. Started teaching in 1978 and have remained in Arlington teaching from 1978 to about 1987. So for 9 years I taught school at Roark Elementary and partially at Little Elementary. So those were so opposite, but I learned so much by teaching at both of those elementary schools. Then from 1987, for 18 years, I stayed at home with 2 babies and taught during those 18 years preschool at my church for about 7 years. I also taught 3-year-olds at Bible Study Fellowship. And then I was recruited by Judy Johnson at Little Elementary to come and tutor math, reading for her 5th graders. And I was like, oh no, I cannot do that. It has been way too long since I've been in school. And she said, Jeannie, she said, I remember you. She said, you are strict. And so I took the job of tutoring at Little, and it just started opening new doors for me. And I love the 5th graders. They are just so precious. And then jobs came available here at Corey, and everyone on the Little team, they were like, Jeannie, you need to be teaching school and have insurance. And I'm like, you know, my husband Gary would love that. So I interviewed with Mr. Howell, and I've been here at Corey for 6 years. And he asked me, he said, Mrs. Loyd, how do you feel about teaching science? And I was like, science? I have never taught science. And so Ms. McDonald, Joan McDonald, she's my coworker, she said, oh, Jean, she said, you can do anything. You can teach science and reading. And so I taught science and reading. Of course, they're both tax-tested subjects. And that is what I've been teaching for the last 6 years. This past year, I taught 4 groups of science, and it has become truly my love. And I tell the students that they are scientists every day. They walk into my classroom, and I truly think by the end of the year, they feel like they are ready for 6th grade, and they can go out and do their very best, think positive, and just be the very best that they can be.
I noticed when you asked your students what's the most important thing about test taking, they all chimed in, Be positive.
Taking tests in 5th grade is really crazy. They have 9 curriculum assessments and then 3 STAR tests this year, so they are heavily tested. And I truly believe that half of the battle is believing in themselves. As long as they feel confident in themselves, they can read the questions with more determination, more confidence, and seek out all the skills that I teach them, such as unwrapping or using the rubies. It's so important that they have a plan of action when they come into the room, and that's part of the confidence that I instill in them. It's kind of like spreading the love, that, you know, they believe it, then they tell the person beside them, and then they tell someone else. And so when they come into my room, I know they talk a lot, but it's because they're so energized. They just love science. Many kids that come into my room in the beginning, they are very fearful. They're afraid, they do not know anything, and at the end of the year, they are confident in themselves when going into 6th grade. And I tell them, when teachers ask you in 6th grade, what do you know the answer to this? That they are to raise their hand, because that's how kids beside them learn. And they cannot keep all that knowledge to themselves.
I see you have a theme going on in your room. Science rocks?
It really has become just a part of my lifestyle. It's, you know, anyone that sees me, in fact, my t-shirt, my best friend in Martin High School, Pam Matthews, she said, Jeannie, I can get you a t-shirt this year, and we're going to put Science Rocks on it. So it's like, that goes along with it, and of course I love rock and roll music. And so I went through all my son's treasures under his bed, found the guitars from Guitar Hero, and then a friend in Sunday school gave me the guitar above my desk. And so I just, you know, the kids just love it. And I write on their paper, Science Rocks. And of course, we no longer teach the rock cycle in 5th grade, but we always manage to, you know, destroy rocks or erode rocks in our classroom. But it gives the kids something different to think about, and they just take it at any angle they want to. So it's a positive influence on them.
During the Aware Foundation dinner, when the comments about the winner were being read, was there one point you knew that it was you?
Well, I was never so shocked in my entire life, because when I heard the first runner-up, I had heard this young man was an awesome teacher. He had been here, I believe, at Corey, and I just knew he was so terrific, and I thought, there's no way I could be any higher than him. So I was just basically sitting there, and I also never read any of the letters that were written about me. I turned them over to Mr. Howell, and I said, Mr. Howell, these letters of recommendation are yours, and they're between the committee and God, and whatever happens, happens. So I never knew it was me. And I think my husband had to tell me to get up, because I was just in such shock. And I've never won anything in my life except for when I went to a beauty supply store and won a bottle of face cleanser.
Students are consistently successful in this teacher's class. Please join us in recognizing the 5th and 6th grade winner, Jeannie Loyd, 5th grade teacher from Corey Elementary.
When they announced my name, Jeannie Loyd, I was thinking, is that me? It is such a remarkable feeling to be acknowledged by all of these people. And, you know, my job is teaching. It's not going up on stage. It was just an experience I wish every teacher in Arlington could have the privilege of walking on stage and just being so surprised, elated, thrilled, embarrassed, whatever, and have the opportunity of looking at all the faces that came and observed you, and they're just grinning from ear to ear. It was awesome.
Speaking of stage, next year you'll be on stage giving the speech at the Aware Dinner.
Yes. You know, my greatest fear has always been to be on stage. I was afraid to even speak in front of my Sunday school class. So I will have to write my speech like really early, like this summer, and practice it all year until I feel comfortable, and I'll probably go to my church podium and practice. But the speakers from last year were phenomenal, and I knew several of them, and it meant more to me because I knew them. And they truly speak from their heart, and that's what I want to do. I just want, what comes to me right now is to tell teachers and nominees next year how important they are. But the bottom line is, we're not who we are because of us. It's that everyone else that we're around made us who we are. And I couldn't be sitting here right now if it weren't for the, I don't know how many groups of teachers and people I've taught with, and my parents and my kids that have made me, you know, a stronger person. My husband challenges me every day in science, and my kids think, why isn't he teaching science? So it is, it will be quite challenging. But I feel like that is just one more reason I probably won this award, was to be on stage again.
Were you familiar with the Aware Foundation prior to being nominated?
I was not familiar with the Aware Foundation. Since I've only been back 6 years, I've pretty much, this has been my cave. And I have just done my job, teaching. You spend like 8 hours a day teaching, and then you go home and spend, I don't know how many more hours preparing for the next day, for the first 3 or 4 years. So I was not aware of it. I told my mom, and so she immediately went on the website, and she called me. She said, Jeannie, she said, do you know that your name is on the website under the nominees? And I said, really? And so I went to the website, and I read about it, and I thought, oh my goodness, this is a big deal. And this was not until March. I did this for Hillary, Blake, and Corey. I went through this process. Going through this process, I just see that there's so many more people in our community that care about us. It's not just our principals and our teachers, but the community truly cares about us and wants to honor those that go above and beyond. And the women and men that came into my room, they were just such professionals. They were so caring, personal, beautiful people. So this process not only made me become a better teacher, it also created that desire in my students, because they knew when someone came into my room, they were the stars. If you could have seen them today in front of the camera, they liked being the stars. I wish I had known Mr. Howell many, many years ago, because people like that, I would love to be one of those people to create something for future teachers and to honor them, because teaching is a profession that it's not 5 days a week, it's 7 days a week. There's so many quiet teachers that are just the best, but you wouldn't know it unless you were really in tune to the people in your school. And I truly would love to nominate someone next year. I walked into Corey Elementary, everyone in the office was clapping like silly people. And then I walked down, entered the 6th and 5th grade hall, and they gave me a standing ovation. And of course I started crying. And then my classes, my kids, they were hugging me, and I brought all the awards to school. We displayed them in the classroom, and I was receiving notes like, Mrs. Loyd, you rock. And it was actually, for over a week now, they have been celebrating me. And like I said, I've had a smile on my face for now 7 days.
That was Jeannie Loyd, the Aware winner in the 5th through 6th grade category. Now we have Owsley Junior High School Choir Director Chris Wagner, Aware winner in the Junior High category.
My name is Chris Wagner. I'm the choir teacher here at Owsley Junior High. This is my 12th year teaching. I've taught here at Owsley for 9 years, and before that I taught for 3 years after college in Moscow, Russia at the Moscow Economic School, teaching 4th grade English, as a second language, and here I am.
Moscow? Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, when I finished college at Oklahoma Baptist University, I said, I don't think I'm ready to get a real job just yet. So I looked for opportunities, and there was an exchange program with the university. They wanted native English speakers to come and teach some classes at a private school that had just opened. And so I said, that sounds like a great place for me to go and get my feet wet, exploring the world, and I loved it, every second of it.
Was Russia anything like you had imagined it would be?
Well, it wasn't like a James Bond movie at all, which is what you expect it to be. But the people are very warm and friendly people when you get to know them. It'll take a while to get past that exterior shell, but the teachers that I taught with were so warm and caring, and invite me over for dinner, and it was just a great place to be, fresh out of college, and just to experience some new things. And the culture there itself was fantastic. And being as a musician and being an artist, the amount of opportunities any single night of the week that you could have to go to opera, ballet, symphonies, anything like that. There was multiple opportunities for just nothing. It cost a couple bucks to go and hear some of the world's top performers because they were forced into whatever it was they were doing. But it was fantastic. It was great.
Did you know about the Aware Award prior to being nominated this year?
Yeah, 2 years ago I was nominated for the Aware Award, and so I'd gone through the initial phases of the process before, and that was really cool just to be that part of it. And then this year, again, my principal came to me and said she was going to nominate me, and I said, okay. And so I was aware of what the process was going to be like, but yeah, it was real easy. It was just people were coming to watch me do what I do, and I'm like, well, I can't change what I'm going to do just because somebody else is in the room. But so the process itself was very easy to do. This is the hardest part.
Did you like the notes that you received from the Aware Selection Committee members?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They were also wonderfully kind and sweet, and it was like Christmas, you know, when they left to have the little note on the Aware notepad on my desk to say, you know, you're doing a great job. And I was like, yeah. They came during the midst of UIL season, so it was very stressful for me as far as like getting the kids ready for that. But then to have somebody come in and say, oh, they sound great, or you're doing a great job, it's like, okay, it was good. I needed a little validation, words of encouragement as we go along the whole process, and they were just really great about that. So. Oh yeah. Mason, don't kill your partner.
When I had you to myself, I didn't want you around. Those pretty faces always made you stand out in the crowd. Someone picked you from the crowd. That is all it took. Now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Oh, baby, give me one more chance.
Look up and sing.
Show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh, darling, I was blind to let you know, baby. But now, since I see you in his arms, I want you back. I do now. I want you back. Ooh, baby, I want you back. Yeah, 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 yeah. I want you back. Hey, now.
Boy.
I went to school to learn, girl, and you never knew before. I except I just see why 2 + 2 is 4. Now I'm gonna teach you all about love. Sit yourself down and take a seat. All you gotta do is repeat after me. ABC, easy as 1, 2, 3. Simple as already. ABC, 1, 2, 3, baby, ABC.
Good luck, Mason.
Easy as 1, 2, 3. Simple as already. ABC, 1, 2, 3, baby, teach. Sing it out.
Give yourself some space here, please.
Come on, let me show you what it's all about. Shake it, baby. ABC, baby. 1, 2, 3, baby. Oh, baby, give me one more chance to show you that I love you. Won't you please let me back in your heart? Oh,
was watching you work with your show choir. I know you have a show coming up.
Yeah.
And I know you were just putting on the finishing touches.
Yeah.
But what I really noticed is that you had this great, big, proud smile on your face.
I love that I can leave my job every day and say, I love what I do, and that I'm making a difference, and in some small way. And to see these kids, some of them that that are in here that had never sang before until last year, and I ran into them in the cafeteria or something. He said, "Come be in my class," and they came, and we worked through some hard things with them. But to see them rise up and just take hold of something, have ownership in something, and talk. We talk in show choir not just about music and dancing, but we talk a lot about being leaders and about what it means just to be an example to your classmates and your peers, and not be part of the crowd, but be in the front of the crowd, leading the crowd. And so, yeah, there's a whole lot that goes into it, lots of levels of layers, and but I love them so much, and I love what I do, and so yeah. It's really nice, especially at this time of the year. We have our last concert of the year on Monday, and so being able to go back and look at all the things that we've done for the year and the accomplishments that we've had, and to stand back and say, and really that they've gotten to a place they can run themselves and they can just go, and that makes me real proud, knowing that they're going off to high school next year, and they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay.
I was amazed that these junior high kids were all acting so well together, especially since they're at that awkward age.
It's true. One of the first things we have to do, though, in show choir is, like, when I pair them all up, I say, okay, now go stand by your partner and let's hold hands. Let's just hold hands. Guess what? No PDA rules are going to be broken here, but we've got to be able to interact with each other and have that kind of bond and relationship. And one of the cool things we do in the fall too is, after we've looked at some of the 7 habits of highly effective teens, we go through a few of those with them, and then we take them to Camp Thurman and do like a team building leadership challenge type day, and that really helps bring them together in a new way. I mean, they have to work together to solve those problems, to do those challenges, and just be more of a family, and so it's really cool.
At the Aware Foundation dinner, at what point, when the comments were being read about the winner, did you know it was you?
Well, when they were reading the runner-up, and I'm listening, I'm like, okay, that could be me, that could be me, that could be me. Then they said something, I was like, oh, that's not me. So I was like, okay, well, I guess that's not it. And then that made me more nervous. I thought my heart was going to explode out of my chest. But they were reading it, and when they were reading for the winner, and I was thinking, that could be me, that could be me, that might be me. But my principal was sitting across the table, and she was the one that had written the letter. And at one point, she'd just been kind of looking down, and she kind of looked up, and her eyes got big, and she looked right at me, and I was like, oh no, no, or yes, yes. And that's when I knew.
And that transcends into how they treat and talk to each other and to other adults. An excellent teacher must have a passion and a desire to see young people succeed. If this is missing, all else is in vain. When a child knows that you care, are willing to listen and help, and strive to know them by forming a relationship with them, then they return a level of commitment to themselves and others. Please join us in honoring the 2012 junior high winner, Chris Wagner, choir teacher at Owsley.
Do you remember walking up to the stage and back?
No, not a thing. I don't know how I got up there or how I made it back, but I saw Carol Strunk there, and she was the junior high chairperson and for the committee, and she hugged me and said congratulations, and I remember that, and that was cool. I got back, and my mom and dad got to be there. They came down from St. Louis, and my sister, just for the event, and so it was really cool that they got to be there and to be a part of that. Yeah, I remember when they said my name, though, my dad jumped out of his chair. I was like, not appropriate behavior, but thank you. Up here.
Take the weight off of me. Oh, honey, when you knock on my door, ooh, I can't be the key. Ooh,
My philosophy is definitely of that mindset of they don't care what you know until they know that you care. And I'm definitely of that mindset. I think one of the main things that's helped me be successful is that my parents instilled within me a very deep level of concern and care for others. They were just very generous people, and they were always helping out family members or people in the church or neighbors or things when they needed something. And so sitting back and watching them helped me develop that idea of people need to be taken care of. And then when people are taken care of, they're more likely to turn around and either do something for you or rise up to your expectation. And I found that, you know, it took me a few years, but to put that into place here, that when the kids know that they're cared for and my expectations are high, I'm not like, oh, I care for you, so let's just sit around and sing Kumbaya. No, I mean, I still want to win some trophies and have some successes along the way. And so my expectations are high. But when they know that I care about them and that, you know, if I know they're having a hard time at home and they can come in after school and talk about stuff, or, you know, I need $1 for lunch today, that, well, now I've got some money to help fund, I guess, the lunch fund, but, and my expectations are high, and they always rise up to meet that. And so that combination of caring and high expectations and brings kids to a good place.
Thanks, Chris and Jeannie Loyd, for being on our show today, and congratulations to winning the Aware Award for the 2011-2012 school year. I would also like to recognize the other Aware winners we featured on our last show. Stephanie Baird from Starrett Elementary, winner in the pre-K through first grade category. Sarah McMurrow from Hale Elementary, winner in the 2nd through 4th grade category. And Jessica Levy from Seguin, winner in the high school category. For more information, visit the Aware Foundation website, awarefoundation.com, especially if you would like to nominate an outstanding teacher for the 2012-2013 school year. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeannie Curtis, and I'll see you again here on Conversations.